Rationale assignment from Christina Griffin for Hannibal LaGrange University. There are many types of collaborations that occur in schools every day. Some of the most common are collaborations on teams, between teachers and paraeducators, and then co-teachers. There are many different types of teams in schools. They range from things like a team to develop a picnic at the end of the year for the school, and then to more develop advanced teams for, say, like an IEP team to meet and discuss what's best for a special needs student. But all of these teams all have characteristics. They have clearly articulated goals. Their members are aware of their team membership roles and responsibilities. Team interactions are regulated by shared norms. Team members are interdependent, and team members have unique skills and perspectives. Our text talks about a life cycle of teams. Regardless of their purpose, all teams go through it, from their infancy to maturity. They start with forming or testing. They're polite and personal, and they're watchful and guarded. Then they move to storming. There's infighting, controlling conflicts, confronting people. Some members are just opt out. Some members stay and face their difficulties, and others may feel stuck, like they have no choice but to be there. They move on to norming, where they're getting organized. They're developing their skills, establishing procedures, and they give feedback and confront the issues rather than each other. And then finally, they're performing. There's a mature closeness. They become resourceful, flexible, open, and effective. There are many benefits to having teams. They're more efficient working and reporting as teams than as individuals. There's group discussions, and decisions may lead to changes in perspectives not possible with one-to-one communication. Also, implementing programs is more efficient and effective when all professionals are in communication with each other. That is possible when we're on teams. There's only a couple drawbacks working in teams. It is time-consuming having to add meetings into our teachers' already busy days. And also, team members may not have the same availability. Planning periods are hard to come by sometimes, and it just may be difficult for everyone to get together. Now we move on to paraeducators. They are individuals who provide direct or indirect services to students while supervised by licensed professionals who are responsible for the students' outcomes. As teachers working with paraeducators, we have 5 areas we need to address to work well with them. We need to teach them to perform expected duties, plan with them, effectively assign specific responsibilities to them, find the best way to communicate with each other, and then finally supervise them, making sure that the duties that are assigned are being completed. As a special education teacher, I will be working a lot with paraeducators. I know I'll have to set clear guidelines for them when the year starts. I also know that I will plan to meet with them before school starts to go over each other's pet peeves we both have, go over also expectations, and to spend time getting to know each other so we can work better together. I know I have a bit of a commanding personality, and sometimes I'm a little hard to read. So I know personally I need to make sure that they know I am always open for suggestions in my room. And also I must ensure that they understand who I am, and I am always there for them to come to with problems that may arise in our classroom. Co-teaching has become more popular with the rise of inclusion since IDEA was passed in 1975. The driving force behind co-teaching is the need to provide high-quality education for students with diverse learning disabilities. Co-teaching teams generally are composed of a special and a general educator. There are several different approaches to co-teaching. My personal favorite is station teaching, but we'll also explore parallel teaching and team teaching. There are some challenges of co-teaching. It requires a willingness to change teaching styles and strategies so that both teachers in the room are comfortable with what is happening. Also, you are forced to work closely with another adult. Some people are not always comfortable with that. You have to share responsibility. This could become a problem if someone has more of a controlling personality. And then also you have to rely on another adult in order to perform tasks that you previously performed by yourself. If you're more of a seasoned teacher that's been teaching for a long time, this one may be the hardest to swallow. There are several different co-teaching approaches, but like I said, we're going to explore 3. First of all, station teaching. This one, students move from one station to another based on a predetermined schedule. Also, parallel co-teaching. Teachers instruct different heterogeneous groups of students at the same time. Teaming. The teachers co-teach alongside one another and share responsibility for planning, teaching, and assessing the progress of all the students in the class. Each of these have some similarities, but they have more differences. Station teaching, each teacher plans a part of the instruction, where parallel and team teaching, they both jointly plan the instruction. You can see station teaching and team teaching, they share the instruction for all of the students, whereas parallel teaching, teachers deliver material to 2 groups of the class at the same time. So they only are going to be teaching half the students in the classroom. There are some problems that may occur. Parallel teaching, the teachers have to make sure that they do not mistakenly group all the lower achieving students together, wherefore they're not getting the same instruction that they would in a classroom, in a full classroom with the higher achieving students too. The noise level may become a problem because of both sets of teachers going at the same time. And also the material being taught may not be the same if the teachers are not adequately prepared. It means one teacher may be delivering it a little bit different than the other teacher is, even though it's the same thing, so both sets of students are not getting the same information. Team teaching, students that need to be monitored may not be getting monitored because of the way that the instruction is being delivered. And also there's a possibility of too much teacher talk and repetition, since they're changing back and forth. One teacher talks for a little bit and then another teacher talks. They may not be, and they may end up repeating themselves. And then there could be a lack of student-to-student interaction because the teachers are doing all of the talking in the room. Station teaching also has its pros and cons. There is a clear division of labor because each teacher is setting up their own station in the room, delivering their own portion of the material, and they each are going to separate responsibility to deliver the material to the students. There is a lower student-to-teacher ratio because the groups are broken up into 2 or possibly 3 groups, and then parity is established each between the students and the teachers. The cons, with the different groups going on at the same time, noise could become a problem. If the students could end up messing around when they should be moving to the next station. Also, material needs to be presented in a proper order. You can't deliver the material after you're doing an exercise to practice the material. It has to be done, obviously, in the right order. But there are ways to effectively address these concerns. You can use desk carols to limit the distraction going on in the classroom. Make available headphones that can muffle the sound when the students are working independently. And then also award students for moving to stations efficiently. And then if you have some students that have a little bit more trouble paying attention than others, make sure that those students are sat closest to the teacher. This would be a sample of station teaching in a classroom. Group 1 is going to meet with an with the teacher and review the concepts of cause and effect. Group 2 are working with a teacher on comprehension activities related to a story that was read the previous day. And finally, Group 3 can work with partners to edit a writing assignment. So this would be a perfect example of station teaching in a reading and writing class time. As I said before, I hope to be a special education teacher when I do finish school. I would prefer to be set up in a cross-categorical room, or cross-cat for short. If that is possible, I plan to use an adaptation to station teaching. I will just have to utilize, of course, paraeducators rather than a general education teacher, which means I will plan the material for each of the teachers, for each of the stations, and then explain to the paraeducators how to deliver that and deliver that material to the students. They'll move from my station to one of those stations, or maybe in another one where they're working independently. But that is how it would be set up in my room.